You've been thinking about it for too long. You've been planning, dreaming, visualizing, telling yourself you're just getting ready. But let me ask you something real. How long are you going to stay stuck in your own head? How many mornings are you going to wake up with the same idea, the same goal, the same desire, and still do nothing with it? You keep telling yourself soon. You keep waiting for a perfect time, a perfect feeling, a perfect moment. But that moment, it's never coming because it doesn't exist. You don't need more time. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need another motivational quote. You need to move because every second you're overthinking, someone else is outworking you. Someone else is doing what you said you were going to do. They're not better than you. They're just moving. And while you're sitting there trapped in a loop of what ifs and not yet, your life is passing you by. You know the truth. You can feel it. That tension inside, that pressure in your chest, that's not anxiety. That's your potential screaming at you. It's begging you to stop waiting, to stop analyzing, to stop being so damn careful. It's begging you to go right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, you want change? Stop thinking, start doing. Because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and realize the life you were meant to live passed you by while you were still planning it. Let me know when you're ready to dive into the first key section. Overthinking is the killer of action. You don't need to think more, you need to move more. Because thinking, when it becomes constant, unfiltered, obsessive, doesn't make you smarter, it makes you slower. It kills your progress before it even starts. You overanalyze every step, every outcome, every risk. You play out scenarios in your mind like a movie on loop. But here's the cold truth. Movies don't build real life. Action does. Overthinking is not a strategy. It's a cage. It convinces you that you're being wise, that you're preparing, that you're being cautious. But it's really fear dressed up in a graduation gown. It wears a suit. It speaks with a calm voice. But at its core, it's paralysis. And it's the reason so many people live brilliant lives in their heads and average lives in reality. Let's call it what it is. Hesitation, indecision, delay. And every time you hesitate, you lose ground. Every time you wait, you shrink your own momentum. You think you're standing still, but you're not. You're slipping backward while the rest of the world keeps moving. While you're thinking about making your move, someone else already made theirs. While you're reviewing your plan, they're building theirs in real time. While you're still doubting yourself, they're already adapting, already learning, already winning. You think you're being smart, but overthinking is not intelligence. It's fear hiding behind logic. It's comfort masquerading as caution. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You just need to start. The plan will evolve. The mistakes will teach you. The chaos will shape you. But none of that happens until you take that first uncomfortable, imperfect, uncertain step. Do you want to know what overthinking really cost you? Opportunities. You missed the moment. You missed the spark. You missed the chance to grow, to fail forward, to get stronger. And worst of all, you missed time. And time is the only currency you don't get back. You can always learn more, earn more, even try again, but you cannot rewind the clock. Every second you spend frozen in your own thoughts is a second of life you'll never get back. Overthinking convinces you that you're not ready, but readiness is a myth. Nobody starts ready. They start messy. They start afraid. They start unsure, but they start. And because they started, they gain momentum. And that momentum, it crushes hesitation. It builds confidence. It creates results. And that's something no amount of thinking can ever give you. Here's the truth. You don't need more time to think. You need less time to doubt. You need to set the alarm and go. You need to say yes before fear talks you out of it. You need to move before your mind finds another excuse. And yes, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, it's going to be awkward. But that's the price of growth. That's the cost of real change. And every time you move through it, instead of thinking your way around it, you become someone different, someone stronger, someone more dangerous, someone who acts. Overthinking is the killer of action, and action is the lifeblood of transformation. If you want to change, if you want to become more than you are right now, you need to put down the pen, close the journal, stop researching, stop planning, and start doing. Not later. Not when you feel ready, right now. Because while you were thinking about changing your life, someone else was doing it. And there's no glory in almost, there's no reward for nearly, there's no pride in potential, only in execution. So stop thinking, start doing. Let action be your answer. Let motion be your medicine. You want change? Then move. Everything you want is on the other side of hesitation. Let me know when you're ready for the next key section. Clarity comes from movement, not sitting still. Clarity isn't something you find by sitting in silence waiting for the heavens to speak. Clarity doesn't come from overthinking, overplanning, or waiting until all the lights turn green. Clarity comes from movement, from action, from getting your hands dirty, taking the step and figuring it out while you go. The lie you've been told is that you have to know before you move, that you have to be sure, that you have to feel confident. But that's not how life works. The confidence doesn't precede action, it follows it. You want to understand your purpose? Get up and start doing. You want to find your direction? Walk. You want to become who you were meant to be? Then stop standing still waiting for a perfect sign that may never come. When you move, when you step into the unknown, even clumsily, even afraid, something shifts. The fog starts to lift. The road begins to take shape. You may not know exactly where you're going yet, but you're no longer stuck where you were. That's power. That's momentum. And momentum is where clarity lives. Most people never change because they're waiting for certainty. They don't want to waste time going in the wrong direction. So instead, they waste years going nowhere. They think movement without guarantees is risky. But what's riskier? Making a few wrong turns while moving forward, or never leaving the start line at all. Life doesn't reward caution. It rewards courage. When you move, you get feedback. You try something and you learn. You fail and you grow. You adjust, you adapt, and slowly but surely, you begin to see what works. But you can't edit a blank page. You can't steer a parked car. The only way to course correct is after you've taken off. That's when the map starts making sense. That's when the dots start connecting. Think about it. How many things in your life have only made sense in hindsight? How many times did you start something unsure, only to realize later that it was exactly what you needed? That's because movement reveals truth. It shows you who you are under pressure. It shows you what you're really made of. It shows you what matters. Sitting still might feel safe, but it's a slow death. It's where dreams rot. It's where potential gets buried. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you haven't started doing anything. You want clarity? Start moving. Pick something. Try it. Learn. Fail forward. Grow. Then pick again. That's how lives are built. One imperfect step at a time. You're not going to think your way into greatness. You're going to act your way into it. One rep. One conversation. One risk. One decision. That's where clarity is hiding. Not in the perfect plan, but in the willingness to begin before you're ready. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the first step. You just need to be bold enough to take it. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence, and confidence creates clarity, and clarity, it builds legacy. But none of it happens until you decide to move. So stop overloading your brain with possibilities and start living in action. Step out of your head and into the world. Do something, anything that moves the needle. Don't wait for the path to be clear. Walk into the unknown and light it up with your motion. You're not confused. You're just still, and stillness might be calm, but it will never be clear. Clarity is earned. Clarity is built. Clarity isn't found. It's revealed in motion. Let me know when you're ready to continue with the next section. Ideas are worthless without execution. Everyone's got ideas, big ones, beautiful ones, dreams that light up their imagination, visions of the life they want, the business they'll build, the book they'll write, the body they'll sculpt, the legacy they'll leave behind. But here's the raw truth. Ideas are cheap. They mean nothing without execution. The graveyard is full of people who died with brilliant ideas still locked inside them because they never moved, never started, never executed. You don't get remembered for what you thought about doing. You get remembered for what you did, for what you built, for what you finished. You can talk about your plans all day long, but if you don't act on them, they become dead weight. Mental clutter, a slow suffocation of your own potential. Every time you think about something and do nothing, it doesn't inspire you. It weakens you. It creates the illusion of progress when in reality, nothing is changing. The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards execution. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled with inspiration. It's filled with action, discipline, daily steps, consistent effort. And the reason most people stay stuck is because they fall in love with the idea of change, but not the process. Because execution is uncomfortable. It's messy. It's slow. You'll face resistance. You'll hit walls. You'll be tired, frustrated, embarrassed. And that's where most people tap out, not because they're weak, but because they never trained themselves to finish. They thought the idea was enough, but an idea without execution is just a fantasy. You don't get paid for your potential. You get paid for your performance. You don't build legacy with what's in your mind. You build it with what you manifest into the real world. The gym doesn't care how motivated you are. It cares how often you show up. The business doesn't grow because you wrote down a brilliant strategy. It grows because you put it into play. The life you want isn't going to appear just because you're dreaming about it. It's going to demand work. Real, gritty, relentless work. Execution is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the amateurs from the professionals, the "I almost did it" from the "I made it happen." And here's the thing. Nobody's coming to remind you. Nobody's going to chase you down and say, hey, you had a great idea 3 months ago. Where is it now? No one's clapping for intentions. They're watching what you produce. You want to be respected, deliver. You want confidence, execute. You want a better life, start doing what you said you were going to do. Not next week, not when it feels easier. Now, today, this hour, because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to trust yourself. And that's the real damage, not just missed goals, but lost self-respect. Every time you finish something, you build trust with yourself. Every time you act on your idea, you become more powerful. Every task completed is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Not a talker, not a planner, a builder, a finisher, a closer. That's where transformation lives. Not in the spark of a great thought, but in the grind of follow through. So if you've got an idea that's been living in your mind, bring it to life. If you said you were going to start something, finish it. If you feel stuck, stop waiting for perfection and just take the next step. Start before you're ready. Finish even when you're tired. You don't need more inspiration. You need more execution. That's the only thing that will change your story. Let me know when you're ready to go into the next section. Action builds confidence, not the other way around. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You don't wait for it to magically appear 1-1 like a switch was flipped. You earn it. You forge it, and the only place confidence is born is in the fire of action. Not in thinking, not in talking, not in hoping, but in doing. Most people have this backwards. They think, once I feel confident, I'll take the leap. Once I believe in myself, I'll get started. But that's not how it works. Confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes because of it. You start scared. You start with shaky hands and a racing heart, and you show up anyway. And because you showed up, you grow. You gain experience. You collect small wins. And slowly, piece by piece, your confidence begins to rise. Think of any person you admire. Not one of them started out full of belief and certainty. They took the first step in the dark. They moved while still afraid. They failed, learned, adjusted, and kept moving. Over time, they stopped asking, can I do that? And started saying, I've done this. That's confidence. Proof, not promise. The problem is, you've been tricked into thinking you have to feel ready to act. But readiness is a myth. It's an excuse dressed up as wisdom. It's fear trying to wear a suit and sound reasonable. I'm just waiting for the right moment. No, you're not. You're stalling. You're letting your fear pretend to be logic. The right moment is now, because action is the only thing that will get you out of that loop. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you cast a vote for the kind of person you're becoming, the person who follows through, the person who gets up, the person who doesn't let fear hold the pen when writing their story. And those votes add up. That repetition builds a pattern. That pattern builds belief. And that belief, real, earned, battle-tested belief, becomes unshakable confidence. But you have to be willing to earn it. You have to step into the arena without guarantees. You have to be the kind of person who's willing to start at zero and climb anyway. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is the birthplace of strength. You want to know why you don't believe in yourself right now? Because you haven't given yourself a reason to. You've broken promises to yourself. You've delayed. You've hesitated. You've built a track record of inaction, and your mind remembers. That's not something you fix with a few affirmations or motivational quotes. You fix that with execution. You rebuild trust with yourself by showing up again and again until your brain says, we don't quit anymore. We finish now. That's why the smallest step matters. Not because it changes the world, but because it changes you. One rep in the gym, one page in the book, one uncomfortable conversation. These things build confidence because they build evidence. And confidence built from evidence, that's unshakable. That's not hype. That's not energy from a YouTube video. That's real. And once you've felt it, once you've moved, scared, doubted yourself, and did it anyway, no one can take that from you. Because now you know what you're capable of. You've seen it with your own eyes. You've lived. So stop waiting for confidence to show up. It's not coming to rescue you. You've got to go out and earn it. You've got to show up and stack your proof, one decision at a time. You don't need to feel like a beast to move like one. Just move, because once you act, the confidence will come chasing after you. Let me know when you're ready for the final main section. Time is moving whether you are or not. You've waited long enough. You've thought about it, dreamed about it, talked about it. But now it's time to do something about it. Because all the motivation in the world means nothing if it never turns into movement. You can keep playing it safe, hiding behind preparation, drowning in excuses, or you can stand up, face the resistance, and do the thing you've been avoiding. This is your wake-up call, not just to take action, but to become action, to move like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't get these moments back. Time won't pause while you figure it out. The clock keeps ticking, whether you're building your dreams or sitting on them. And if you don't choose action now, you are choosing regret later. You're not stuck because you're lost. You're stuck because you've convinced yourself you need more time, more clarity, more confidence. But what you really need is courage, not next week. Now, not when it's easy. Now, not when the fear goes away. Now, you don't need another sign. You are the sign. You don't need permission. You just need to move. The life you want, the strength you need, the purpose you crave, it's all waiting for you on the other side of action. So stop thinking, start doing. Every second you hesitate is a second of power you'll never get back. Don't just listen to this speech. Don't just feel inspired. Get up, go out, get it done, and never ever look back.